Welcome back to the Inside Indiana show. Ed, the Hoosiers tip off their exhibition season and close out their exhibition season by taking on Indianapolis at Assembly Hall this Saturday. Now, the outcome of this game isn't really all that important. I think the Hoosiers are past the point where they lose these kind of games to a team like Indianapolis. But what are you going to be looking for from the Hoosiers, and what do you expect to see?
Well, I'm really going to be looking at the defense. I think that's going to be very key, to what we're going to be able to see throughout the rest of the season. They have to be able to just completely shut down Indianapolis. I mean, they're playing against an inferior opponent, which I think Indianapolis is well aware of. I mean, they're not even a Division I program. Yeah. Indiana needs to come out and just stifle their offense and then control the backboards rebounding-wise. And if they can do that, then I'll be pretty happy with the performance.
You look at some of the early games, I think last year, Ferris State was one of them that gave Indiana everything that it could handle, and it kind of set the tone for the rest of the year and showed where some of those weaknesses are. And like you, I'm looking at on the defensive side of the ball. There's been a lot of talk about guys improving on defense, putting more focus on it, looking to be more athletic. Certainly Cody Zeller is going to be in the middle. That'll help a little bit, but he's not exactly a shot blocker, somebody who's going to be able to keep guys from getting to the basket.
Right. I mean, Cody, just his length and his size will help in the post defense-wise, but he's a smart kid. He understands positional defense. You know, he's a very fundamentally sound player. He's not going to commit a lot of fouls, although he did foul out of the scrimmage again after the Northwestern game last weekend. That's not going to happen a lot during the season, though. And on the perimeter, I mean, Remy Abel should be able to help them a little bit. Hopefully Verdell Jones has improved his defense. Jordan Halls. I mean, if those guys can defend on the perimeter and then you have a little bit bigger presence inside, I think that's really going to make a difference.
Now, the Hoosiers, this is their only public exhibition, but they did work a little bit against Indiana State at Conseco Fieldhouse earlier last week. And it is a game in which there was a lot of situational things. Public wasn't involved. Media wasn't involved. There were no kind of stats or anything. But even working in that setting against a Division I team, how can that help the Hoosiers improve?
Well, I think, at least for the non-conference season, a lot of the teams are going to be Indiana State's caliber or even inferior to Indiana State, because Indiana State's program is actually on the rebound right now. And, I think that's great experience to go against, instead of just butting your heads against someone else that you've been seeing in practice for over and over and over again. Different players have different styles, different abilities, different strengths, different weaknesses. You get used to playing against Tom Pritchard, you get used to playing against Verdell Jones, you get used to playing against Jordan Halls or whoever you may be going against in practice. You kind of know where they're heading with the ball. You learn their tendencies because you've seen them so many times. Just to throw a different Division I caliber athlete into the mix against you is always good to test yourself with, and I think that's probably a good move by Indiana to scrimmage against Indiana State last week, just because I think it will allow them to stop beating on each other for a little bit and get some more experience outside their own practice courts.
Well, and it also has to do with just the level of talent too, because that's a Division I team. It's nice to go ahead and build some confidence by beating up on some of the lower levels, but I think that they might be able to develop a little bit more just by playing against guys, fighting people their own size, and I think that could certainly help them. Now, Indiana's football team again is going to be going over to Columbus to take on the Buckeyes, and when we come back, Ed and I will give you predictions for what might happen in Columbus.
What's up, Worker? How's it going? What's up, buddy? Doing good? Come on, let me in!
Want to get inside Indiana? Call 800-282-GO-IU today to get the best in-depth coverage you'll find anywhere on the Indiana Hoosiers. You'll get 12 full-color glossy issues packed with the Hoosier news you crave, plus our exclusive online express edition featuring game previews, reviews, and much, much more, all for just $49.95. Inside Indiana. You can't get closer to IU athletics without a scholarship.
Somebody in there! Let me in! Lee.
Welcome back into the Inside Indiana show. Ed, we only have a couple of minutes, but your predictions on what might happen at the Horseshoe.
Well, I think Indiana's offense is going to be able to move the ball a little bit, and I think they're going to be able to put some points on the board. Now, whether or not they actually punch in from the red zone, that's been an issue. Like at Wisconsin, they were able to get some deep penetration into Wisconsin territory, but they weren't able to cross the goal line. And they got behind so much that they had to keep going for it on fourth down. They didn't kick field goals. So, even if they're able to move the ball a little bit, which they were against Wisconsin, like I said, they have to be able to stop Ohio State's ground game, or Ohio State's just going to possess the ball so much of the game. They're going to wear Indiana's defense out. And until Indiana shows me that they can stop someone's ground attack, I don't believe that they can. And I think that's basically it. I mean, you have to force Ohio State to throw to have a chance, and I don't know if Indiana's ever going to be able to force them to throw, so I'm going to go with the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I think Ohio State's going to roll in this one. I mean, with the way the defense has been playing, they haven't shown me in a single game this year against a Big Ten opponent that they can hang with the other Big Ten teams. I mean, even if people look at the Penn State game, they only gave up 16 points, but it was 460 yards of offense, 150-yard receiver, 130-yard rusher. They haven't been able to stick with some of these other teams, and for whatever the reasons might be, the issues are, the bottom line is, on the scoreboard, Indiana has really, really struggled, and I think that in this one, being on the road, playing in that atmosphere, playing a team like Ohio State, Indiana's in a lot of trouble, and the Buckeyes walk away with the win. Well, we're out of time for right now, so for Ed Magoni, I'm Ken Bikoff. Thanks for watching, and pace yourself.